Everybody, welcome. We are here after a long couple of months in the South American division. It has come down to two teams, 9Z Globant taking on Heist for the Season 8 South American Master Champions Index. Importantly, it's that time of the year for EWC. The winner here today will go to play against the best of the best across the entire world out in France here in a couple of months.
Yeah, and a really big opportunity for both these two teams here. And you have to look back at it last year when we were able to see that leaders team really find the way to get in the playoffs, snuck their way in, and then just took this playoffs by storm, getting themselves locked into EWC last year. A lot of players on that leaders team actually on both these teams here tonight. So some players looking to go back, but there's also a lot of fresh new faces looking to go to a big international land for the first time in their careers here, Hunter. And I mean, we kind of have to say this a little bit early for maybe an EWC qualification than you would expect. You would really expect it after next season, but with such a short turnaround time from the time that season ends to when EWC starts, it had to be this season. And Hunter, we might have two of the best teams that me and you have ever seen in the South American tier lined up tonight.
Yeah, definitely so, because we've always looked back, and to be fair, we've always anticipated every single final that we've been able to witness so far. And there have definitely been some battles that have gone down in this grand final. My favorite to this day is still the Factor X Pumas game, ended up going to 6, was a bar burner from beginning to end. Maybe has one of my favorite clips with the Burt 4K Death Blossom. It was an insane thing to witness at the time, and I'm hoping we get some amazing moments like that here tonight as well. But thankfully, with it being a grand final, it is a first to 4 matchup, so this one could take quite a long time. But I mean, we talked a minute about those rosters. I think while we have the extra few minutes, let's kind of talk about that a little bit. We'll pull them up over here, and these are stacked rosters. We talked about it before when we saw this game honestly just a few days ago, quite honestly. But it's been insane how stacked the talent is on here. We'll start over on the number 1 seed with 9C Globant. We have seen a lot of these players make this amazing journey over the course of the last year, and now the additions that have happened to this roster, that was the former Dill Ducks, the former Factor X, or I should say the Dill Patos. The Patos is a duck, whatever. This team has gone through everything in the world, and now they have the chance to undo what happened last year, where they got to the finals, but they fell short.
Yeah, I mean, you're also forgetting one team right there in Piso Sour that this 9 banner used to be under, kind of erasing them in the first part of this season, which is a little bit of a disrespect there to the cafe. But still, yeah, you look at a lot of these players on this team, you have to look at, the clear names here are probably Hydron, former OWCS player, former Owl player, former USA Overwatch World Cup player. Now he's with Brazil in the Overwatch World Cup, but on this team was on Heist in the early part of the season, left there just before the roster lock, came over to 9Z and has been a clear-cut, great addition to that team. But you look at everyone else here, LCS and WedTube. I mean, we talk about great backlines. This might be one of the best backlines, Hunter, that me and you consistently see season in and season out. Light and clear as well. They are some of the best players that we've seen. And then you have Burt and Tizzy sitting on the bench. We know Burt can pop off at any moment, and we know Tizzy to be one of the best tanks in this region as well. This 9Z team, Hunter, I don't want to say they might be a super team in this region, but they are maybe the closest thing that we have seen to it so far in the 4 seasons me and you have covered this region.
Yeah, genuinely so. This core roster always finds a way to make it to the finals. They've made it to the last 4 finals, and to this point, they've won the last 2. They have a chance to have the hat trick here today. But of course, we still have to go in and talk about who they're up against. Heist. This is the 3rd time these teams have faced each other, and while it has gone the way of 9Z on both of those occasions, we still have to talk about how stacked the rosters are here. I think it's worth talking about that DPS line right out the gate. Sauna, again, very much former OWCS player, former Overwatch League player for that matter as well, and Shinigami, someone who, in terms of present day, has some of the most experience when it comes to competitive South American Overwatch, has played against the very best for years on end. If there is a backline that has such a major amount of experience, this is 100% it.
Yeah, and if 9Z was not here, Hunter, you'd be talking about Heist in the same way we were just talking about 9Z. Maybe one of the best teams we've ever seen comprised here this season. And you have to really imagine that the big reason of that, how both how about stacked both these teams are is because of what's on the line here tonight. Yeah, there's a little bit of money. Yeah, there's a big bragging right with being called champions, but it's an EWC spot that both these teams are looking for here. Hot Baby, you didn't talk about them or Scary One. I think they're absolutely great. We know how good Connie is on playing that tank, but you also saw Bazanella and Nitro on the bench here. I mean, we did not see Nitro in our last series. Same thing with Bazanella, but still, you could see a lot of subs come in and out through this series. And you have to remember, like you've already mentioned, this is a first of 4, best of 7. So there might be a moment here where one player might just need a map to try to calm down, maybe relax a little bit, get their energy back up here. But Hunter, me and you have talked long enough here now. We're finally into the phase of picking maps, picking bans, and 9Z bringing us where else to start but Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, biggest shocker in the world, I know, my apologies, but this makes every sense in the world. They're common to what they do, but something we don't always see. I feel like we've seen the Jetpack Cat and Bastion very consistent on Lijiang, but 9Z decides we want absolutely none of that. The cat can be banned right out the gate.
And honestly, it's a really smart ban. They don't want to see it. I think this has been a region where, yes, we have seen a lot of that Jetpack Cat, but it definitely feels like a lot of these teams want to try to play away from it here. So just bang it out. Might just be a safe ban. It might fall into that category where I would say like the Lucio Kiri, Tracer, and even something like the Diva a while back was what I would consider just, hey, a very safe ban. Map number 1 here. And honestly, unless if you're Heist here, you think there's a hero you could get rid of right now that's going to cause you a lot of problems, you might just see the Bastion come out here from them just to make sure we don't even see that hero. But I feel like you're going to lend yourself or lead yourself more over to that support line, because like I said, LCS and WebTube, I mean, they're college teammates here in North America at Briarcliff. They are such a pair, and just disrupting one of them will really hurt this 9Z team.
And not to mention,
we already got a support ban.
Yeah, you can't touch anything there.
Never mind.
It doesn't matter anyway. I mean, also talking about that duo as well, going to the World Cup next week, their teammates over on Team Chile as well, as it's WebTube who is one of the imports over there alongside LCS. It's going to be a formidable thing. We're looking forward to that next weekend, but I imagine these two who have a chance to go to 2 lands now, by the way. It's kind of crazy how many things could happen or could not happen over the course of 2 weeks. But we'll see what goes down.
3.
I mean, yeah, literally, potentially 3 if things go that far. It'd be God. I'd be riding.
I think you're thinking maybe a little bit too far ahead. I'm talking about the Naceland.
Naceland is also there too, which, God, who knows what could happen. I'm excited for it. But they have to start things here, Dex, and a win here could definitely give them some massive momentum going into those big affairs. We're still waiting for things to finalize, taking their time to do so. Both of these rosters definitely have a lot of players they're willing to throw in, but the second ban comes out. The other flying menace, Pharah, being taken out.
Yeah, and again, not the biggest surprise here. Pharah has kind of came into a life of her own, especially on this map in general, just because of how good she is at being able to get that poke damage, especially on points like Gardens, like a Night Market, where you can really just fly the far around, find so much value there, Hunter. But again, I think there's another storyline that we have not necessarily talked about here yet, especially if this is your first time watching this region the entire season long here. Well, you came at a good time. You're watching the 2 best teams, but let's lay another thing out there. 9Z.
Oh, that's a mic gone. That's an unfortunate mic gone. But hey, it's all good. I'm going to let Dex do his thing here in a second, but we're ready to head over into the game. And Dex, I implore you, finish that thought, because I am definitely curious as to what you were saying. Just, you know, I'll tell when your mic's going. Oh, I think you're back.
Yeah.
Welcome back, my friend.
Yeah, so what I was saying is, hey, if this is your first time watching this region, hey, good time to come here. It is grand finals for a reason. 9Z Globant, though, the one thing you have to know about them, they have been perfect all season long. Not only in record, this team has yet to lose a map here. They are trying to do something that I don't think any team in Faceit across all the regions, all the tiers has ever done, of having a complete perfect season. Heist needs to try to be able to slow them down here, but coming out of the gate, Hunter, not the biggest surprise. You're seeing Clear come out on that Diva. Connie, though, on the Sig is going to be very interesting. I think it might slow them down, but Shinigami still playing that Bastion, finds Hydron out early on, and 9Z, they get punched in the face.
Oh, that is a rifle right out the gate. Your single bright side is that is a really quick one. Hydron decides, you know what, Cassidy's cursed today. Immediately going to go over to the Sojourn instead.
Yeah, again, you kind of have to imagine that Cassie was going to be there because maybe you thought Connie was going to come out on something a little bit quicker here. Light, though, goes too far in and already misses out on this fight, and Clear not going to be able to get the mech here or lose the mech, and this is just not the start you're looking for here if you're 9Z. Granted, there is one caveat here, Hunter. Heist never cap points, though, right now.
I mean, that is a little something to work with. It is what it is. But to be fair, man, this is tough for any team to walk into right now. Plus, it's them trying to settle into these grand finals and get things going. But either way, they need to try to create some openings. And I like Clear deciding, hey, D.Va's not going to cut it. Let's go over to the Zarya instead.
Oh, that TP right there from Sana was a little bit too low, or not that far away. Clear had an opportunity to take him out, but not going to be able to. Hydron gets rocked out, but Clear going to be able to find one, but you lose Hydron and even trade across the board right now.
Yeah, right now you try to track down one, eventually get down square one right now. Light's trying to hang on, and now Hot Bae gonna fall over. Connie trying to hang on about right now with a little help from Sana, but this is probably just delaying a little bit of that inevitability. Sana is gonna be able to TP out, but only momentarily, only 37% on the board, but Sport Ultimate's on a line, and Wed needs to get this thing on quickly.
Yeah, they need to get on really quickly. However, you look at Light, not that far away from a Death Blossom. You could really try to just get that Kitsune Rush out. If Light has that Death Blossom online, yeah, use it right then to at least counter out, slow it down. It might result in Light being dead, but all that momentum or all that pressure from that Kitsune Rush is going to go just in Light. Photon Barriers out early on here. However, it looks like Connie and Shinigami might have missed the memo.
Yeah, and they're going to go in this one now. It's a 4v5. People are separated, but you managed to clean things out right now. Connie does have this Flux ready to go if needed be, but it's in a 4v3. It would be a gamble to pull this one out right now, but it's going to go for it right now. Goes and gets a whopping 0 witness as Clear is going to start moving on forward. They're going to be able to cap this point, but Connie just needs to back out of there.
I mean, look at the investment in that fight there from Heist. 3 ultimates, and you don't even really come in on top. All you got out was the Kitsune Rush there from Wetsuit, and the rest of 9Z Globant gonna have all their ultimates ready to go here, and they're in a good spot to just be able to stabilize. The grab, though, is huge. The beat from Scary One can be able to sustain it for a little bit.
Yeah, no, Light's thinking about pulling this thing right now. Has to think otherwise, though, is trying to escape. Does momentarily, able to TP out in the nick of time, but Clear might not be able to say the same thing, who is struggling to stay in this one right now. You see into the backside, gonna go for it, and it's a good old repeat. I love history. It's a 2K there for Light, cleaning out another fight, and now the lead taking over, but it did cost both teams everything to try to win that.
Yeah, but look, I mean, Wed2 was able to build up to that Kitsune Rush in that fight. Hot Bae was still kind of lagging behind them a little bit here. If you have a good fight here for 9Z, you're going to be able to have that Kitsune Rush ready to go if you win it and have it ready for last fight. Hot Bae will have as well, but you're starting to see Clear on this Zarya start to find a lot more value than Connie on this Sigma right now. Shinigami still being on this Bastion is a big question for me, but again, we go back to that Bubble Popper conversation that we just have not seen in a long time because we haven't needed to see it.
Yeah, definitely so right now, but Hydron trying to take some heads off, but Elsius falls early. And this could end up being a stalling method already. But Kitsune Rush is thrown out into a 4v5, and now it's the throwback from Hoppin trying to throw down Clear. It's Light, who's the one who's struggling to stay alive as eventually it comes through. Grab going to come online, gets rid of 2, and now the separation there. Light gets rid of another. And now it's going to come back through. Sana's the only one anywhere close right now, but you're so far away, I don't think they have any touch in the world.
No, they don't, and I mean, Sana had to do what they had to do to get out, but you did just not have a touch right there, and 9Z, after a little bit of a rough start, honestly, got their footing. Some swaps came in, and we talked about this a lot in the North American Masters playoffs, where those teams that didn't make the swaps really stuck to their guns, didn't necessarily find that much success. That's gonna be one thing we're seeing a lot here throughout this series tonight, Hunter. 9Z is not afraid to make swaps. I'm still kind of surprised we haven't seen one yet from them, but Heist has yet to make really any swaps. 9Z, they made 3 big swaps there in that round, and they immediately led to a lot of value there for them. And Clear on the Zarya is working out great there. There's the first one from Heist as Connie now goes over to what I think a lot of people still consider counter in that Ramatra. And Ramatra right now, very, very good player, or very, very good at the moment.
Yeah, very much so. Clear winning that whole fight, only managing to go down once in that exchange, but this is going to be tough now with the fact that you have to deal with the Ramatra over on this point, and the fact that you're running what is essentially a bunker comp here as well. You have to find a way to be able to get through, and Hydron, honestly, is probably got to play a really big part in that right now, as Clear is forced out. Is he going to stay alive? But it's a really big fair for Hydron to turn this one around. Connie doesn't get the help in time either. this fight may have turned on its head as the point does open up. You don't have Clear to settle on there, but Light becomes the pseudo-tank for the moment right here as Sona trying to hang around in there, but it's gonna go take a swim. LCS, big boom as Clear has come back on the Malka.
I mean, Hunter, we know LCS to be one of the best Lucios in this region. I really compare them a lot to Ewan in North America, how they are a really good Lucio. They know how to play very aggressively, and they know when to get out. That's what you really need to see from your Lucio players here. And getting that boop kill gives you so much confidence as a Lucio player here. Or Clear, though, making the swap off the Zarya, and you also see Connie going back over to the Sig here as well. But Clear going back over to something that has slowly been making its way back into the meta here on this Malga. It's going to be a big kind of play as the charge comes in and say goodbye to Hot Babe.
Yeah, Clear, though, is taken down, but it's another boop here coming through from LCS. Finishes 2 in that fight as Carry1 isn't able to get out alive. The LCS Hydron, they have both been deadly thus far.
And again, this is a map where you really have to be wary about Lucios, about those boops coming out in LCS. They will make you pay every time. Clear is a great distraction for that kind of playstyle that LCS really wants to do here. But you look at the ultimates coming up, 50% on the board. Hydron does have this overclock online, but it's going to be Shinigami getting everything going here for Heist to get going. They want to use that artillery.
Yeah, Hydron right now has potential day at the shooting range right now, but Zarya left out on one. Shinigami's cleared out too. Hydron needs to find a second to make this fight their own right now, but there's so many ults available. Even if you do find somebody, I don't think Heist is going to hesitate at all to pull one of these ultimates to secure the fight. And with everyone backing out, reset comes through at 71%. LCS will get out alive, so it will be a quick reset. But wait, it is lucky to be out too as they can soon erupt actually. They're pushing this hard.
Yeah, they're trying to take us back as much base as they possibly can here. 2 ultimates out now from the side of Heist. Only able to not really find any picks yet outside of Wed, which is not the worst one to lose here if you're 9Z. But look what 9Z has. They have Beat, they have Kitsu, they have Death Blossom. And really, if you're able to find Hot Babe out early on, Hunter, that Death Blossom becomes a little bit more scary here. I start to see 9Z rotate through White Room here. And there's the flux out early on. It whiffs again!
That's so devastating. And now Scareone's probably going to hit the sound barrier here in a second, or LCS is. Someone is thinking about it. You see LCS hanging around the back, and there it comes, sound barrier. They're going in deep. Scary1 tries to make it, almost gets taken out while in midair, but now it's turning back around with everyone pulling into this cage fight. Clears boom for a moment, is going to stay alive, but it's Light again to try to change things around. Unfortunately, isn't going to manage to do so this time. It is Shinigami hanging around, but it's down to the pure 1v1, and LCS, buddy, that is the whole Sigma in front of you.
You know what? I think 9Z thought they might cap the point throughout all that. They never did. I mean, they were able to drag that fight away from point. They could have been able to cap it right there, but you're going to see Heist here get very close to taking the lead. They're actually going to be able to take the lead, but immediately the pressure coming back in from 9Z, and Hydron takes care of Connie, and there's another boop.
It's massive. Also, the third one of just this round alone. And now this is going to flip back over. Now, you will say it's pretty empty base right now, so you really only have the artillery strike, which on its own doesn't accomplish a whole lot.
It doesn't accomplish a lot, but it buys you some space, which you might need here, honestly, especially if 9G is going to be pushing up as far as they are here. But they're playing safe. The TP, though, from Sonic goes straight to point. This is going to be, I think, what Heist is going to do throughout the entirety of the rest of this map. Just TPing straight to point, but you already lose Scary1 early.
Yeah, this is rough out the gate, and already you've lost 2. Hydron is finding plenty more to go after. Does fall eventually, but Connie's the last one. And it's going to be a good start as any here for 9Z Globant, taking away Lee Zhang Tower. Definitely a bit back and forth, but they take that one away off the back of, honestly, some heroic plays by, honestly, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, this is what makes, I think, this team so special for 9Z is the fact that you can have anyone really find that opportunity to have that pop-off play. Whether it's Hydron, whether it's Light, whether it's LCS, whether it's Wed, whether and Clear as well. This is a team that is just so well built that if one person's kind of struggling, you can see the rest of the team really pick it up. Heist, though, they made it interesting there for a little bit, but I talked about the swaps were going to continue to come out. This is a very important series. It is grand finals. An EWC spot is on the line. We're going to be seeing a lot of swaps throughout this series here, whether it be in-game, whether it be with players coming in off the bench. And I just thought we saw 9Z do a really good job making those changes. I honestly would have loved to see that Ramatra stay there for Heist, but I completely understand why they went back to the Sigma, as it really did slow down Clear there for a little bit.
Yeah, it really did. And now we're taking a complete tonal shift, by the way, with new Bonnie selected. Honestly, if I'm in this situation, get rid of Sojourn. Protect the Bastion, run Cat Bastion. take Hydron away from one of his best characters. That's my instant reaction.
I think you're getting rid of D.Va.
Ooh, that
I think if you're
Heist,
you're getting rid of D.Va. Clear definitely showed us on that first map that they really want to try to play it, especially on a point control center where D.Va doesn't necessarily find the most value. It's more still looked at as a brawl kind of map point right there. That's why I saw the Zarya come out and really worked well for them. I think get rid of the D.Va here. You might still try to punish maybe that back line here a little bit. The Cat, though, Cat Bastion could be back on the table here, but it wouldn't surprise me if you just see 9Z ban out the Bastion just so you don't see it here again, unless we see that DPS ban come in early here from Heist. But you can tell they are taking their time. They want to get the right ban in.
Yeah, trying their best to. So
Cass.
Yeah, Cass is definitely an interesting one. Okay. All right, so Cass being taken out. To be fair, I mean, you saw it briefly from Hydron, literally in the first fight, got taken out immediately, never really went back to it. It is a character that can do a lot against the Cat Bastion, and plus this ban also does still protect the Bastion in tow.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. You have Hydron, you have Bert on this team for 9Z. We know what Bert can do as a hit scan player here, and they would probably be in right now if Hydron wasn't on this team. We know Bert is probably one of the better hit scans in this region, much like with Hydron. So you're really pushing them out here. Sigma, though, going to be the ban coming out here from 9Z. And Hunter, I like that ban. I mean, you really saw, I believe, Connie get a lot of decent value on it. It seemed to be kind of their fallback one. They started on it, went back to it. It was a really good pick there for Connie, that entire first point or first map. But now it's going to be gone here. However, I don't think it's the worst case scenario if you're Heist to be losing that one this early, that ban this early.
Honestly, it's not the worst case in the world. I'm gonna be completely honest. And to have something like the Sigma taken out, it's rough on this map. But with the fact that the D.Va's still available, there's a real chance that we just see double D.Va come out here. It'd be the most expected thing. We'll find out here pretty shortly as we're getting ready to head into Numbani, where Heist they elected to be on the attack first.
I don't think they picked. I don't think they picked.
Did they not? Well, let's gaslight and say what they did. I believe you, though. I believe you.
It's definitely 9Z that picked defense first here. And coming out of the gate, I mean, like I said, I thought we would see the D.Va be banned out here. Clear definitely wants to try to show it. But look, that Cat Bastion back on the table. Both teams are playing it. Both teams understand how important it is right now in the meta, how strong it is right now in the meta. And the only difference you're seeing at supports here, or really between the teams, is just your other support here. Wed gonna be sticking with this Kiriko wall. It's gonna be Hot Babe on the other side playing the Ana. And you know what, Hunter? I honestly like it. If you can land that sleep onto someone like Hydron, like LCS, that Cat Bastion will lose a lot of value early on. However, Wed is there with the Suzu if they do land a big ante onto the side of 9Z.
Yeah, it's a very thing that can work out really well. Also cannot. We look at last night's game. Pirate on that Alari was doing amazing, but there were so many times where it was taken advantage of. It became the first thing that Cat Bastion would go after. We'll see if that ends up being the same situation. No! Buddy, that's not how it works.
I caught that.
Oh, Hot Babe's down. Hydron gonna go through as, yeah, everyone else just gonna simply back up as they are pressing these spawn doors pretty hard, but they will eventually back out here, and that's just really unfortunate.
It's completely unfortunate. I mean, you have to know that was an honest mistake right there if you're both Shinigami and Scary One, but that will also kind of just sit in the back of Shinigami's mind saying like, hey, is this going to happen again? Do we want to keep going around the outside? And it looks like the answer is yes for the moment here. But we're starting to see Cat Bastion, I think, evolve a little bit. You're seeing the Cat drop the Bastion a little bit more to get some more healing onto their team right now. But both these teams playing very safe, making sure not to try to get themselves caught out here first, because that Bastion can melt you down in an instant if you give them a chance.
Oh, 100% it can. Shinigami back in the air. They're going to double chase down Hydron, who's incredibly low. But it's Shinigami who's going to fall on over. Hydron stays up. And now you're looking to wipe things away like does Fall in exchange, though. So fight still very much winnable here as the spawns should be about the same for both sides, considering how fast Light can get back over on that Tracer. But all of Heist is forced back in the room momentarily. Sauna's still out there, is getting chased down big time, trying to get out, forces to recall, and is still trying to run away. Clear on the run, won't be able to find the finish quite yet.
Shinigami's back, and they're taking out Hydron mid-ultimate right there. 2 ultimates invested by 9Z, and they're already down to 2 people who use them. Clear gonna have to... No, they're not even gonna use the bomb here, Hunter. I mean, they might just be giving up first point right now, which is a big thing. Clear will get one, but it won't matter, as even after the big mistake that everything started this round for Heist, they're able to get this first point and get going back here. And yeah, there you see Wed now making the swap over to the Ana as well. There's a straight mirror match now, but you just use two big ultimates right there for 9Z, and you don't even get anything that fight. Hell, like I said, the two people that use ultimates died almost immediately after using them here. So you're looking for a lot of big plays coming on this fight, especially when Heist has 4 ultimates, count them, ready to go. And that catnap, this is one of the points where, especially if you see 9Z push up a little bit, will find some value.
It definitely will. There's a lot in that corner right there. Definitely difficult as, oh my god, they're going to pull the bomb in, and they don't get anybody. My god, I appreciate the ingenuity, but it still is a back-and-forth fight. Again, Light's taken out. Sana has gotten the better of Light so far in this map, and Sana, we know, prolific on that Tracer. So it's just going to be really difficult to deal with.
Connie's just chasing clear as well. They're going to be able to find Hydron off it, and then now invested on the Connie here, as still Heist is kind of just casually going through this map. And 9Z, they're kind of looking like how they started off last round. The catnap coming out from LCS, gonna completely miss onto anybody there.
Yeah, that's rough right there. LCS also ends up falling on over. So now, this has been really good progress from Heist so far. That really know their bread and butter. But Connie is D-Mech. That really might shut on the chances. That you see this so much now, where the D.Va gets hit with the catnap and just bombs to get free.
Connie, though, not in the mech right here. This has to be an opportunity where 9Z has to be able to find them out. It'll buy your team a little bit of time, but Connie looks like they're going to be able to get back in the mech. LCS very low, has to just play the lighter, and yeah, there's the mech. Is there even a touch from 9Z?
Unfortunately, there's not, and they have to focus on trying to keep people up, and now you just have to reset, because so far, this has not been working out. Hot Babe should be, like, target number 1 every time, but Hot Babe has remained pretty heavily protected, I would say.
They have, and they haven't really been tested this entire round. I mean, 9Z, they are looking vulnerable right now. They really need to make some swaps here, because I don't think this is really working out for them. I think this D.Va is working out great for Connie at the moment, and Shinigami, other than the one time they were dropped off the map, I don't think they've died.
No, and Big Nano Shinigami deleted on the spot, and now Connie be forced to get out of there. And to be fair, you found one going with the Nano. That's all you realistically needed right now, as Hydron is getting punished a lot, as Sana will be taken care of eventually by Lights. Now 3.5 minutes, still a ton of time, mind you, and they're going to have a big bet of ults coming up on this next one.
I mean, but again, there's going to be a lot of ultimates for both sides here, but like you said, a full house coming online for Heist. They're going to be able to play a little bit aggressively here, knowing that you have a bomb that you could kind of just use as a remacking tool, pulse bomb as well. The Nano get probably be invested on the Shinigami or Connie here. It's going to be interesting to see what Heist does here, because 9Z might be finding their footing here, but still a lot of time. The Nano invested on the Shinigami as they're in the backline already.
Yeah, Hot Babe is getting harassed right now. Big Stick comes through, and all you can really do if you're clear is invest in this fight. You get rid of one right now, but LCS goes for that catnap. Doesn't find anybody still. I think it's necessary picks to kind of stall out this a little while longer here. As Hydron gets another here as you're trying to escape. If you are Sana right here, but it's Connie who would love to get out with this mech intact. Finds clear, but honestly, that might be more of a blessing than a curse if Hydron gets out of here alive.
Hydron barely getting out alive as Sana was starting to pressure them out there, but you're taking ult trades right now. You got the Nano out, you got the Pulse Bomb out, honestly, from Sana. They're already 70% to another one right now. Hunter, they've been able to build this up pretty quickly, but that catnap again, missing from LCS. You would have loved to see it find the stick, but you did a good job at least getting away from the bomb, though, being carried. Will find that helicopter.
Oh, we see the remake there come through. Clear is going to try to get back in, does so, but is now one of the only surviving members of the team. Light's in the back line right now, but is going to escape. Has a pulse bomb that could be very game-changing, but Light is being hard pushed up here.
Yeah, they're being pushed back. It's going to be up to now Clear to get the touch here. They will, with just enough time here to at least do the fight. Catnap out there will be able to find someone. However, it's on the LCS. And they're going to be able to find their Sana, will find the Pulse Bomb, and it's going all Heist way right now. They are bouncing back from that kind of sluggish performance they had on map 1.
Yeah, and they can't get off this point. Hydron is forced around the corners, trying to get some care in time, but it's all falling apart. It's going to be the cap here, 1.5 minutes here for Heist, and it's honestly, you have to say it, it's a great attack by them. They know exactly what they want to do on their combos. The bomb, well, it didn't work out the first time. My God, was it the definer of that last fight.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Here's another thing, Hunter. Connie never died. Never died once. Connie stayed alive that entire round. And one thing that I talked about, we did not see any swaps from 9Z other than Wed getting off of the Kiriko, going over to their own Ana. Like I said, it's going to be very important for these teams throughout out the series and make swaps during the map. However, you just kind of have to ask the question of what could they have swapped to there? I mean, we know that ER is starting to get a lot more playtime in other regions, but I don't think it's made its way down here just yet. However, I might be dead wrong about that. The Honor might have just been the better way to go, especially without the Kiriko on the other side. You were really hoping that those bio grenades are going to be able to find a lot more value there. And hey, they found value for Hot Babe. I think Wed was just a little bit behind on them. Still did a good enough job with that 5,600 healing. Actually did more healing there than Hot Babe, but still, it was just not enough as Connie was 15-0 in that first round.
Yeah, genuinely so. I mean, to be fair, even as a diva, it's hard to go through an entire round and not die, especially when you have things flying around like a Bastion, per se. And Connie was DMA'd multiple times as well, was able to get back in every single time. But it's now the 9Z attack coming your way here, and it's not really any change-ups on either side here. They gotta find some level of success, and maybe that comes off the back of being more aggressive, or maybe letting Shinigami be pulled in a little too far.
Yeah, or just having someone fall off the map again. That would be a great way to open stuff up. As you see Hydron being carried around now by LCS, both of them already using those healing abilities, but those two Bastions going at each other, and both those divas really eating up a lot of damage. However, because of that, likely to be able to find Hot Babe. And like I said, Hunter, I thought Hot Babe did a really good job last round, being able to do what you want that Honor to do. You get them out early on, and look at already how Heist is playing it.
Yeah, right now in Light is able to push back Sona out of this fight. Hot Babe immediately going to decide that Kiriko is the way to go. But remember, this one's not properly done yet. The Cat Bastion's still on the outside. Someone's going to have to get the touch here. It's coming through momentarily here from Connie, who's going to hang around the point. Going to get forced off momentarily. Almost going to be DMX. It's a big chase over on the point as Sona going to have to hit the recall. But with Wed dead, sustaining, this fight needs to end right here and now if you're going to be able to pull this one back. But unfortunately, I think they maybe need a mini reset.
Unfortunately, they really do. They need the mini reset as Connie now just starts to harass that Cat Bastion in a very small room. That's always the worst spot for it. But losing Wed, it kind of just forces that reset right there. You're going to be able to fall back. You need to get an early pick here for 9Z, and same thing could be said for Heist. One pick is all you needed last fight to just force 9Z back to reset here. Already half that time bank almost gone here as Hydron being carried in by LCS again gets dropped here so they can get a little bit more healing in, but they have to pop that turret from Pulse Belt out on them. Hydron, though, can at least be able to get one shot off this time around.
Yeah, Connie, though, gonna clear things out here, and almost half the time already gone. It's gonna be another reset coming if the Rui here. Wed and clear. At least Wed is in a, actually in a bit of a rough spot. You see the chase coming through for Connie, but it is not gonna work out.
And again, Hunter, one thing that I talked about coming into the series at the moment was, well, 9Z has been perfect throughout the entire season, record-wise, map-wise as well. We might potentially be seeing their first map loss of the season here in the grand finals. It would fit very well, but still, if you're 9Z, you need to find something to bomb. Just being carried, and LCS just says, yeah, buddy, I'm not dying this time.
Yeah, bro, would not want to mess around with that, but it's City Rush coming out here. Wed wants to win this fight right here, and to be fair, given what's left, I think maybe they really need to win it as the second tick has come through for quite some time right now. City Rush comes through. They get back at 99%. Sona gets stunned momentarily, but it's going to be over on the point. Everyone making their way over. It's got to be a big stick. It's going to come out. It's going to get rid of one. There's touch is still on the point. Connie gets off momentarily, and it's eventually going to be the Cap coming through right here. Like, finishes off Sona as well right there, but honestly, if you're Heist, you can't be mad at that. They used the entirety of their ult bank, and they stalled that thing out for quite a long time.
Yeah, they did, but if you're 9Z, I mean, you're just happy you got that point cap. But look at what 9Z is doing here. They're pushing up clear, Hydron, and LCS, just pushing them, trying to take as much space as they possibly can. Make it difficult for Heist to come back in to contest them. However, Shinigami and Scary One have definitely been the better Cat Bastion so far here. Hydron and LCS, they really need to get going because it opens up so much space for their team if that Cat Bastion is finding value. If it's not finding picks, at least get the DMAC.
Yeah, at the very least, it's enough to turn a fight right there on the spot. Sometimes end a fight in a lot of different scenarios right there. But Hot Babe, the first one gone. Wed is trying to hang around, but it's Hydron and Wed that will end up actually pulling on over. This fight flips immediately as you do again see more DMAX. Clear is going to get taken away, and poor Clear is going to see what the bottom of Dubani looks like. Is even though Light's hanging in there, this is temporary as eventually, I was going to say, Light should fall over, has a recall available, somehow is alive, but I think, yeah, it's delaying the inevitable.
it's delaying the inevitable. I mean, throughout that entire fight right there, there was no contest actually from Heist. 9Z just got off the cart to take that fight. I understand why they did. Shinigami now being carried. Pulse bomb gonna take care of the cat, and Hydron says bye-bye as well.
And Clear's gonna be able to back out, maintain that mech, but it just go back to the exact same thing they did on the very first point, and now again, you have big ults coming up right now if you are 9Z, but you have to start taking big advantage of them right now. Because honestly, if we're talking about ult economy and how well they've been used, Heist has really gotten the better of that this entire map so far.
Yeah, but 9Z, they're about to come up to all 5 of their ult into your Hunter, and we know they're not afraid necessarily to ult dump into fights. We saw a lot throughout the season from them here. As now, like to be able to find Hot Babe, I like this distraction going on in the sky. Like's been able to find so many picks because of it.
Yeah, for sure. Shinigami gonna let that one loose to be able to get over that overhealth to stay alive. Wedge sitting incredibly low is eventually going to stay up as well as KNF going to come through. Connie pulled away, not gonna matter a whole lot, is eventually gonna be taken out on the cart. And it's another fight when that comes through. And while it is some really good stall, they only have to use the catnap to win the fight.
Yeah, and you got the artillery out from the other side there from Shinigami, so you'll take that even trade. Whoever scary one, about to have a catnap online, if they pull someone off like Light, like LCS, like Hydron, honestly, it would be a disaster here as Clear going way far up as a Consumer Rush out now from 9Z. I mean, they could really win the fight here, or the point off this fight.
They could right now. Sonar already gone. Hape, Connie, Shinigami all struggling. Bombs thrown up into the air. It's not going to get rid of Diddly Squat as it's the full wet coming through. And now 2:30 on the clock. It'd be incredibly tough to finish this map with more time, but again, they only used the Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, and you got the bomb out from Connie there in a fight that was really lost at that moment. But you look at the other side, 3 ultimates about the online for Heist. They're still in a good spot here, be able to stabilize, and this is a very hard point to push. Once you push through, if you lose after you get through the choke right now, Hydron and Shinigami in the sky. Who's gonna come out on top? It's Clear actually starts to throw their name into that fight.
Yeah, and you see right now Shinigami forced over into the inside, but it's so much protection coming through from everybody over on the side of Heist. And now the longer this goes on, the more those ultimates build up to the point where Hot Babe's gonna let that loose, but now is being taken out of the fight. 9Z have a chance to make a massive push here right now. Honestly, it's all about staying alive as they're separated big time. Sona gets the pulse on the perfect individual right now as Connie forced back inside, somehow is still in the mech. As 9Z are going to keep this push going.
Yeah, they need to get Connie out of the mech right there. Connie already almost back up to full health right now. You need to get rid of that. Shinigami and Scary One have the ultimate ready to go now for Heist. And, I mean, 9Z, they didn't use a single ultimate at all. That engagement there, Hunter, they're in a good spot. However, you look at that time bank, they no longer have that lead. So if we go to overtime, they will be attacking first. As the pulse bomb comes out there from Light, it does force... Oh, now it's not time for LCS to carry the bomb in, but they do not find the same success.
Yeah, but either way, Connie out of the mech is the most massive thing in the world, and now you need to see a finish coming in very quickly right now as Catnap is there. It's going to try to grab somebody. It will pull Hydra off the edge. That's such a critical pick, especially as Connie Shinigami trying to get back into the fight. Scary One is going to be able to contribute to that very first touch right now. Needs to stall a little bit longer as people trying to get back in time, but it's all a stall tactic right now. As they'll complete the map with 40-some seconds, then it's only a 42-second difference, but with new Bonnie, with the way these fights are, that 40 seconds could be extremely critical.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. When I talked about Connie not dying at all after last round, they died 6 times. Clear on the other side. Do you remember how many deaths they had after round 1?
I think it was just wasn't it like the full like 4 or 5 already? Wasn't it?
Well, I'm gonna say it was at least 4 because I think they at least died once there, but they only died once. I think. Like, you're having great tank performances coming out here from these two teams right now, and they've been able to make such a difference. I think you'll also start to see a big strategy come out here from 9Z a couple times that last round where Hydron and LCS would just kind of fly in the sky, and it would force Connie to go after them, and you saw Light be able to take care of Hot Babe a couple times there, opened up a lot of doors there with that Anagon. It worked out for them here. However, a minute on this time bank, Hunter, now for 9Z to get going on this point. They have to play fast because realistically, you're really only looking at one true fight. After that, you're probably looking at a whole bunch of swaps to see like, hey, can we get a tick here if we don't get that the first time around?
Yeah, because remember, it did take them quite a bit of time, definitely more than a minute, to cap that point. Heck, to get a tick took them longer than that, so there needs to be some serious plays coming through here with a minute of time that 9Z has. Remember, they haven't dropped the map before, and if they drop one, and it can keep going from there. So we'll see how they get things going right now as, again, the lineup's not changing in the slightest.
It should not surprise you here. And remember, everyone has a full bed of perks online. And I think we start to see 9Z get better once they get those perks online. And you see already Clear going in immediately.
Yeah, and it's a rough place to be right now as you see everyone has to head inside. Shinigami, Hot Babe, all certainly struggling right now, and Shinigami given all the heals in the world might not matter as we're back into a proper 4v3, but the cat being tracked down. This is best case scenario to get things started here for 9Z as you see on the run right there. They're going to try to put Sona back over on the point, who has that recall, is able to get out momentarily. Connie, I think, will have the extra touch to come through, but unfortunately, I think they just have to play for the corner coming up here.
They do, and I think everything went right there for 9Z. Even though you lost Hydron early on, I think they're really just treating this Cat Bastion as a big distraction, allowing the rest of their team to find an open and vulnerable target, and they've been able to do that very well since about halfway through their push last round. Now whatever they can get here, Hunter, is bonus, because you're at least looking at Heist having 2 guaranteed fights on that first point.
Yeah, very much so. Woo! Gotta be careful there. Hot Babe is the one kind of struggling right now. There's a pulse bomb ready to go for Sauna. Has some perfect targets out there for sure as Clear is in super deep. Is gonna pulse right now. Is gonna somehow not retain the neck at the very last second, and now it could all be falling apart. Hydra and LCS Light, the only ones left over on the point, and now it would be an absolute struggle to somehow hold onto this one. Hydron is gonna try to pop this thing at the last second. They won't be able to retouch it in time though. So bright side is they do get that very first point unlocked. The bad side is though, there's not much after that.
Yeah, there's really not. There's really not much after that. But like I said, whatever you could get after that first point cap is just bonus. You got past that corner, which is going to be where you see 9Z play if Heist gets it. And this is a moment right now, if you're 9Z, if you lose this first point, you have to lose it either very quickly or know when you just kind of have to back out and give them it here. However, if you're Heist, you're feeling very confident about that one. If they continue to push it on a little bit further, it guarantees you another fight or two. Now, all you really need here is cap this first point and win one fight, and it's probably over for this map. You hand 9Z not only their first map loss of the season, but you tie up this grand finals, which again, we expect it to be a close one, even though in the first 2 bouts of this trilogy, it was 9Z winning both of them 3-0.
It was, but remember the series, realistically, no matter how it starts, it's going to take a while for it to end. It's a lot more longevity. And while we've definitely seen that work in the case of this 9Z core in the past, it's definitely worked for the Heist core in the past as well. So we'll see what ends up going down. His lineup's still not changing. Hot Babe is going back over to the Kiriko to get things started, which when it comes to a final fight situation, I think you definitely want to be able to match the Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, and here's another big thing. You did not see either one of these teams on the attacking side here. In overtime, really just have their players swap through so many different heroes getting their perks online. It tells you both these 2 teams are really committed to these lineups. Yeah, there might be swaps later on, but they are so committed to this lineup right now. They think that's the only thing that's really going to be able to get them to work, to get them to win here. Saw, though, might be playing a little bit of just trying to drag 9Z towards point, but Clear, they need to play their life here.
Yeah, you cannot fall. If you fall, this thing ends quickly. As Shinigami gonna get ran into is still at full health, by the way. Didn't matter in the absolute slightest right now, but the more chaotic this gets, honestly, I see Heist the one that can take advantage of that a little bit more if chaos does arise. But Connie is going to get one, and will get out as well with a nicely timed cleanse from a Hot Babe. And now, it's the question of what you want to do, and unfortunately, all you can do at this point is fall on this point. Hope everybody gets the forward spawns right now, because that's all you really can do.
Yeah, I mean, Clear's going to just die on this point right now. That's the best thing they could do here. This is still going to take a little bit of time, even with all 5 members of Heist on this point to cap it. So you're going to have all these forward spawns here for 9Z. And like I said, Hunter, they had to either lose fast or be able to know when to back out. This corner is now going to be where the rest of this map is played from. And if you're 9Z, you have to play very, very safe here early on. Ultimate's about to be online right now for Heist. You really do not have much coming up in the slightest.
Yep, Connie in really deep right now. You see the 1v1 going on the inside. Sona eventually going to be forced out, and now it all comes down to the corner. Shinigami is going to go in super deep, though, and try to hit up this backline right here. Has plenty of care as well. Clear on the point initially, is really close to that bomb as Pulse Bomb's going to come out, but it's Hot Babe who's going to go down first and foremost. Hydron onto the run is barely going to be able to stay alive as they barely get the retouch in time. It's insane how they manage it right now, but Clear has to continue hanging in there right now. Has that bomb sitting by, but it's WedTube who's the closest to having this Kitsune Rush available right now, but the bomb is getting thrown around. Donnie's gonna get rid of 2 in the back right now. It's just Clear and Light, the only one's left over on the point, is going to be able to get nobody at first. Pulse Bomb needs to be big. It's not, though, Dex, and the numbers game is falling apart. Clear is the last one there. Sauna is going to stay up, and for the first time this season, 9C are going to lose a map.
And I mean, hey, it was by far probably the closest map they played so far throughout this entire season. Heist, though, they figured something out. They were able to break it down, and just the pipe bomb, honestly, has been something that's been able to work out for them so well. This map, it was able to open up so many opportunities, and they got one there at the end. And honestly, they were so close to, I think, C9ing it, honestly, Hunter, that, I mean, they win this map. It's a big one for them. And now if you're 9Z, how do you respond to your first map loss of the season?
It'll be interesting because it's been a while since we've seen this team lose, but I'll tell you what, they were very quick to decide. We know exactly what we want to do. They go to Runasapi, they get rid of the Bastion immediately. But by the fact they get rid of the Bastion now, Dex, means that Cat Bastion is untouchable after this map for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and I mean, you're bringing us over to Runasapi. I mean, they were able to deal with the Bastion pretty well. I just think it was the Cat that was honestly the problem there at the end. But I mean, again, uncharted territory here. First time that they've lost a map. First time that the map or this series for 9Z has been tied after, well, map 1 this entire season. But we expected this. We expected to see a much different Heist and a much different 9Z this series, and both these teams playing for a huge prize here. They weren't going to go down quietly, honestly, Hunter.
Oh, they had no reason in the world to. So we'll see what goes down as the second ban ends up being the Malga, which Runasapi, I think that makes the most sense in the world. It's a map where you can definitely play it a lot. Sure, I think maybe it works a bit better on Flashpoint, but Runasapi, there have been so many times where we've seen the Malga 1v1s take center stage, and honestly, I don't hate that you decided to get it out here.
Yeah, I don't hate that you decided to get it out here either. But like, I think you're just going to see either Clear stick with the Diva or go right back over to the Zarya. We saw them, a lot of great play with that Zarya map 1, and it would not necessarily surprise me at all to see it here. This is still a map where the Zarya finds a lot of value on.
Yeah, still a ton of value, so we'll see how that ends up going down. Lineup's not changing quite yet. So we'll see if they end up changing, honestly, at all throughout the entirety of the series, because we never saw them change during the entirety of their last matchup that we had. So I wonder if it will change now. So I don't know. It's up in the air, honestly, because Tizzy definitely still has flexibility, can do a lot. But the question is where Tizzy's niche is amongst the entirety of the series.
I mean, we know Tizzy to be a really great Diva player, but I think Clear's shown us that they can as well just match that Diva, and at least at least what the value you want to get out of that Diva here. However, heading in now to Runasapi, it's going to be interesting here. It really is what you see, because I really do believe Clear's going to be showing us either that Diva or the Zarya. What does Connie show us? Is it back over to the Sigma? Is it back over to the Diva? Do they show us their own Zarya? We know Connie to be a little bit of a flexible tank as well. I mean, I think that was one of the more interesting things coming in the series that we didn't necessarily talk about a lot, that both these teams have tank lines that are hyper flexible, but you really might only see 2 of the 4 tank players in the lobby here throughout the night.
Yeah, I think that's honestly a real possibility at this point. In fact, it might be the reality as well, but we'll see how they want to change things up. Again, Bastion's out, so no point in running the Cat here. Light being back over on the Reaper, again, I think it worked out really well to get things started, but Shinigami over on the Cassidy would be some extremely interesting stuff. Or the, Soch too, either one.
Yeah, the Soch makes a lot more sense, but Light, I think anytime this Reaper has the option to be played, they are going to play it here. They really didn't play it last map because the dive potential, or the dive map that Nubian to be, just really does not fit the Reaper unless you certainly try to play around it right now. But both these teams, outside of Sana, sticking on this Symmetra here, I think we're starting to see Symmetra come back into a play a little bit more here, Hunter, just because it forces that Diva on the other side to really slow their roll into the entire team.
Yeah, genuinely so right now. And you see Shinigami already forced back momentarily. Connie is demech. Doesn't mean the fight's over quite yet right now, but Connie, Shinigami struggling to stay alive. This is going to be a really quick one here for the entirety of the 9C Globant squad. They'll get this thing rocking and rolling. To be fair, the way they just fought right there with Light, they want that every single play.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what you kind of wanted to see from 9Z here. They lost their first map of the season. How are they going to respond? And that was a good first fight. However, Hunter, it's first fight. It's not necessarily the entire map here. Yeah, you're able to get it pretty far, but you need to continue having that good kind of play time after time again. As Wed gets taken out by Shinigami. Wed was too far in the open there. That's a big mistake by 9Z.
Yeah, and clear D-Max should spell the end of this fight right here. Everyone knows to simply take their deaths over on the point and just take that tactical reset through. Hydra does get one on the way out. Nothing more than that, though, as they'll all get the reset together, but there's no forward spawn, so they should be able to regroup in time to contest the lead if they want to.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with Hydron already having a Deadeye here, they could definitely use it to buy some space and try to force Heist off the point, but it'd be very interesting. I think you really want this Deadeye now to just be used to actually find a pick, but it already looks like Light got caught out there, and I mean, Sana, with these turrets, is going to be able to kind of have like a security system set up here for Heist, making sure that they know where Light is at all points.
And they have to eventually decide if they want to invest in on Light as well, because Sana is already really low right now. It's still actually quite a lot low right now as Light's going to have to try to get out of there. LCS is down early on, though, as there wasn't a chance in the world for Light there, as DMAC going to come through, and with the way these picks are flagging to come through late, I think this forward spawn should be kind of secured.
Yeah, and right now, are there going to be swaps coming out here from 9Z? It seems like after that first fight, you saw a big change here in Heist and how they're playing. They are finding targets, and they're calling them out early on. And you saw Connie just go straight after LCS there. There's the first point capped, only about 2.5 minutes in. Light, though, going over to the Mei. I like this here. They need a little bit more kind of defensive measures, especially as you start to see Connie get more and more aggressive. Ice Wall out the rest of the team away from them, force out some of those key abilities and cooldowns out from Heist early on.
Yeah, and now you need to change things around this fight right here, but there's so much ready to be invested right now as Shinigami. Gonna pull up that Deadeye right there. Would love to find a good target right now as they go up to the high ground. LCS is incredibly low. Is going to somehow stay alive long enough here right now, but still, plenty more to be invested. Sound barrier ready to go. You would love to get Clear out alive. That's a really good move to make sure Clear stays in there. But remember, this fight still hasn't ended, and the cart is still making progress.
More and more space. This is exactly what Heist wants here. They want this to be a long, drawn-out fight. They know that 9Z is going to be able to back up and give them a little bit of space here. Beats, though, out from both sides. The late one from Heist.
Yeah, bomb has to come out right now. Clear is taken care of. No one goes down to the bomb either. Light gets a really good trade, and it's now the DPS score that's turning things around. Connie wants to push this really hard, and with Hydron gone, it could still be winnable, but Light has all the sustainability in the world. The support duo caring for each other. So it's looking like this should eventually come toward its end, but Shinigami's in there too. Would love to get alive with both of them out. Shinigami, though, not going to be as lucky, but she'll get the forward spawns anyway.
Like the flanking on the Mei, now this is something you see every day, but it worked out for them there. Really made sure they won that fight. Hot Babe, though, could come back in with this Katsuna very quickly and just get Heist back into this one here before there is really even the reset here on the spawns, but looks like the spawn's going to be barely reset here. However, like I said, Heist could just play fast here with that Katsuna Rush online.
Yeah, now you have to be very careful. Connie is going to get walled off momentarily, so close to going down as Freeze can be thrown out, and I don't think it's going to catch on to anybody. It forces out Cleanse, gets a lot out of the squad as Connie, close to remaking, is going to opt to use the bomb right here with the TP there. Plenty to keep yourself alive with Hydron not finding anything either. It's a lot that's been invested. It is now completely cleared out, but Hydron is on an island, and unfortunately Connie has obliterated that island, and with that, this fight should slowly come to an end.
Wed's gonna fall here. Light and LCS are the only two left alive at the moment. And LCS gonna fall. Light now is gonna be staggered out, and that's the unfortunate part. Granted, they're gonna be able to stall out this car for as long as they can, but yeah, there's the death coming out from them. And again, it's like Heist has figured something out here on 9Z. And 9Z, I think they're making the right swaps here. Clear now going over the Zarya. I thought we would see that from the get-go from them. But now that Connie, I think, is a little bit invested onto this D.Va, I think it's going to be a little bit harder for Connie to get off this D.Va, and Clear might be able to start the final, but that's what you need. This support line for 9Z, Hunter, we've seen them a lot over these past couple seasons. They are not afraid to get their hands dirty, and you need them to be a contributor sometime in that kill feed.
You 100% have to right now. But Sonic going to have another Photon barrier ready to go. That's going to be tough to deal with, even with double support ultimates about to be online for Wed in LCS. So we'll see what ends up going down here. As we'll see who's willing to pull that trigger first. It's Shinigami, apparently, would love to find a target to get things started, but Hydron is going to take the head off just in the nick of time. Hydron now gets rid of a second right now. Eventually, it's just clearing out body after body right now. It's Sauna Scary One trying to hang around, but all they can do is stall this point. as they're going to be able to clear things out. And honestly, that's massive to only have to use the Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, and I mean, you got Deadeye out from the other side. Shinigami, though, immediately getting off of that cast, going over to the Soj instead. And look, Connie, not that far away from a bomb, says, I'm going to give that up. We don't need the bomb anymore. We need something to slow down Light, because that D.Va was not going to really live much longer in the clears, Zarya. You might be giving up this checkpoint right now if you're Heist. No, you do get the late touch there, but still the Blizzard out early on, and Hydron finds one.
Yeah, Massive and Connie right now has plenty of care, has plenty of defense right now, but they're going to keep on pushing forward. And honestly, Hydron, who is still taking heads off, by the way, my God, they're going to keep pushing back. But because you have a core that stays alive, a retouch is very doable here.
Yeah, it is very much doable. And, I mean, you look at the ultimates that both these teams have here. 3 ready to go right now for Heist. That Photon Barrier, I think, is going to be the biggest one because they might really use it once Clear uses that grab because they're looking for it. But the beat and the Photon Barrier out early on and Clear taken out before the grab is online.
Yep, and you're going to see the beat being held onto right now to get rid of one, but it's not going to be enough to turn this fight around. Hydron just going to go in, try to build up a little bit more, but eventually will be taken out. But Forward Spawns is activated as Light is the last one to go down. Everybody gets it, and importantly so, there's a very distinct thing where Clear, Sound Barrier is not going to be alive for that grab coming up.
Neither will the Photon Barrier as well here, and LCS is going to be back there to taxi everyone back very quickly. However, you're looking at Hot Babe. This Kitsune Rush's spawns get reset right now. Going to use it early on here. Beat, though, from LCS early on to counter it.
Has to be used, and the grab is in, and it catches so many bodies right here. Too many to count, and now all you can really do is kind of stall this one out a little while longer if you are Connie and the rest of this squad, as eventually they should all fall over. But no, Connie pops. Annihilation is thinking this is winnable, and unfortunately, is going to be proved wrong here, as we'll see the fight eventually go their way. But still, I don't think in the position that they're in right now that actually they have freeze. This is 100% winnable.
Yeah, but Light and LCS are coming back from the original spawns, a long way back. I think all that you're seeing right now from 9Z is just get the checkpoint, and then they're going to probably fall back, wait for those 2 players to get back here, because they really cannot do a fight without their Lucio and without their Mei. So yeah, you're seeing that. Checkpoints back in their control. Lucio and Mei are back here. That Blizzard is going to be huge here. Kitsune Rush out, though, early on from Weds. The overclock outside, out from the other side.
Yeah, right now, and they're getting pushed back further and further. Light is around that corner still. Freeze has to be big, and it's the double DPS who are working hard here. As Scary One, Hot Babe, both gone with no supports. Connie's life is in a finite territory. Can't reach the TP in time. 9Z, they have cleaned up the act. They take back the lead, and they still have a freeze and an overclock to show for.
And Clear can really build up to this grab here quickly. They've been able to do a lot of damage these last couple fights, and you know how fast that they can build it up. LCS not that far away from beat. They're in a good spot right now. Scary One, that beat is about to be online. However, Hunter, they might have to use that almost the second they get it to make sure that everyone stays alive throughout this engagement. Kai, though, already forced to pop that Nemesis form just to keep themselves up.
Thona close to going down as well, eventually does fall over. Freeze is used. They want to try to end this thing now, but that might end up playing a little too far into the cards here, as Clear needs to be kept up. Is coming up closer and closer to that grab, but Scary One does have a beat ready to go. In a worst case scenario, it's used by LCS. Scary One going to let it loose. Clear needs to get this beat on right now if you're thinking of ending this thing right here, right now. But Clear's in a really awkward spot. Has to debate whether or not to pull it. This thinking about it is coming back into the corner right now. Gets rid of a second. The grab is still available. Clear gets rid of the third. And now they're going to keep that thing pushing. Connie needs to get there in time, but the wall is going to prevent the touch. It's a full clear here from 9Z. A big turnaround to take back the lead.
9Z, I mean, I was starting to really doubt them a little bit. I was counting them out about maybe 3-4 minutes into this map, but they made some swaps. Like I said, it was going to be very important for both these teams to make changes during this entire series. And yeah, the Ramatra I thought did enough there to slow them down, but I think the Zarya for Clear is starting to just be so impressive. It would not surprise me here, Hunter, that if coming up you see that Zarya be banned out very, very soon, especially if you're Heist maybe next map, because hey, you banned out the Malga this last time around. Malga's now back for them. The D.Va was banned out already, I think, as well by them. You're getting rid of these tanks, and you're just seeing Clear step up with another tank at their disposal.
Yeah, it's a lot. And now the fact that you only have Escort and Flashpoint remaining, it's kind of a tough pick, I'm going to be honest right now, because you're either going to go to a map where you're going to have that D.Va be played upon, or as you say yourself, Saravasa, where that Mauga has a really high chance of coming out. I don't know if that ends up being the case because we have to wait and see what the ban is going to be. But there's plenty of good picks available despite being in the 4th map of the series already. But one thing to say right now here with Heist is, do you think they lean back into the Cat Bastion now that it is fully available, untouchable? Or do they try to capitalize the success that they had during the first half of that entire Runasapi?
I think you do. Saravasa, you definitely do see the Cat Bastion get played. I think Atlas is a map where the Cat Bastion really does struggle to find some value. I think Saravasa, it's a little bit different than Atlas, where that Cat Bastion can truly work from the start. And you can tell Heist is taking its time. And yeah, Hunter, there's the Zarya ban out now from Heist. And is this the 3rd tank they've banned? Like I said, I think they banned the D.Va. They banned the Mauga last map. After this, they don't have anything else that they can truly ban on that tank line.
Oh, they do not. And that's rough ultimately because it's very much like 9Z, who have already used, I think, a lot of their critical blows. It's now Heist, I think, has used the majority of theirs as well. So it's rough for both sides. But again, I think it's really important to take that momentum back right there. That's why I haven't blamed Globant going out the gate and saying, hey, we're going to ban the Cat immediately. And oh, we start losing the Cat Bastion. Well, we're going to get rid of the Bastion. They're doing this early on because I brought this point up last night during the other game. It's way better to do them ahead of time than to be down 0-2 or 0-3 as, ooh, speaking of critical bans, Zarya being banned out by 9Z.
Well, no, the other way around. Zarya was banned out by Zarya was banned out by Heist. 9Z is banning out the Sim here, which I think is a really good move by them. I thought the Sim was being a constant problem to that D.Va that we're seeing from Clear. And now that you're banning out the Sim here, you know Clear is going to primarily be playing that Sim throughout the entirety of this map, which, I mean, my bad, the D.Va throughout the entirety of this map, unless they get forced off. But that, hey, at the same time, guess who's still available, Hunter? That would be the Mauga as well, which you could definitely also see Clear come out with.
Yeah, there's a real possibility we walk into like Cat Bastion Mauga shenanigans out the gate, but maybe only from one side as we do Shinigami Scary One back over on that dynamic duo. Meanwhile, Clear and Connie both going to be representing the D.Va. Nothing is solidified until we get out the gate, but to be fair, this is the comp that worked out beautifully for them back on New Bonnie. It's the exact same thing. It worked there. It has no reason not to work here too.
Yeah, I think, though, the first point's going to be a little bit difficult for that Cat Bastion to get going. And I think a lot of these teams, when they play Cat Bastions on Flashpoint maps, they are okay giving up the first point, realistically, just to make sure that they can get set up for the next points here. But D.Va's coming out from both sides. And like I said, with that Symmetra ban coming out here, it let you know immediately that 9Z, they want to continue playing this D.Va. However, I think they know that Cat Bastion is going to be available. It's going to be interesting to see what does LCS and Hydron do here, because I don't necessarily know if that pairing with that Lucio and Cass is going to be enough to shut them down.
Yeah, it needs to find consistent hits right now. Shinigami is going to have open field in a lot of different ways. Hydron's going to need to be protected big time as well. Is literally being rushed down by every individual in the game right now. Let's make that clear. And eventually, it's going to work out. Connie may be demacked, but that doesn't mean this fight's over. Quite frankly, Clear is also struggling a lot. Is in no man's land right now, by the way. No idea how Clear got there, but they get the initial cap, but I don't know if it's going to last beyond that.
Clear, when chasing after Hot Babe, was not able to find them, and that's how they got demacked. That's why they were in no man's land. They're going to have to give them the point here very quickly, as Clear will fall, and I think this is a moment right now where if you're 9Z, you have still the majority of your team alive. Do you make any swaps here? It doesn't look like anyone's going to make a change just yet, as Clear back into the mech, but you already see Heist just trying to take all the space in the world, and LCS taken out early on, but you do fight Shinigami out here.
Yeah, and they're going to try to backcap, which means everyone is going to have to fall back over to the point, which I think maybe plays into their wheelhouse a little bit more. But Light gets taken out. If they had any chance of winning this fight, I think it honestly may have just fallen right there.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, Light's doing exactly what you want them to do. They're going after Hot Babe here, but Hot Babe showing us to be a very resilient Ana at the moment. They survived the dive. Hydron with the Deadeye already as Connie just stares them down.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to retouch this point just in the nick of time right now. Is Catap going to go through? And Scary One's going to hold Hydron down long enough to make the difference. But Shinigami gone. Scary One is extremely low on health. Is going to eventually get a little bit of care on the outside. But Hot Babe comes back with the Nano here momentarily to potentially give over to someone. As Scary One is bouncing away. Somehow stays alive through another fight. But the support line is suffering as Connie no longer going to have that Nano to work with, as they need to get back to this point and get the touch as the overtime will activate. But with that being the case, Clear doesn't grab the Mega Health back in time. And I don't know if they're going to retain mech as the bomb comes through. They don't retain, but neither does Connie.
But I think at the moment right now, honestly, if you're Heist, Scary One should just wait back and spawn and carry Connie back in very quickly. You do not have that same kind of caveat on the other side here for 9Z, but they do have both their support ultimates here. And the Nano is online here for Hot Babe. Who do they give it to? They give it to Shinigami, and they do, who's already on point and chasing down Hydron as the beat now comes out from LCS.
Yeah, perfectly well timed there from LCS. Extended rush there as well, but Hydron is suffering big time. Shinigami gonna be pulled away from the fight. Is struggling to stay alive, is literally circling around, but eventually will it be taken care of. Overtime, not too far for ticking. Hydron gets rid of Sauna there with the second one, and now everyone else is backing out. Scary One not gonna be able to touch. First one will head over to 9Z. It was as scrappy as can be, though.
And here's the thing, though. I think 9Z, I'm starting to see him more and more. Whenever Shinigami gets dropped, I think they are doing a great amount of communication there, because Shinigami does not live long after they get dropped at any moment. Whether it was the catnap, whether it is just Scary One decides to pump a little more healing into the rest of their team, they are communicating to get Shinigami off the playing field as fast as they possibly can.
Yeah, right now, and Light hanging around in the back. Would love to find a big pulse over onto Hot Babe, but right now, Sauna being an absolute menace, has been a menace to Light the entirety of the series so far. Let's make that abundantly clear right here as Recall comes through. Shinigami down first again, though, while all the chaos is going on. Sauna eventually finds the necessary blow, but that doesn't mean this fight is over. It's still a big one for either side as Hydron is pushed back. Connie single-handedly takes care of business, and if Connie gets out alive, it'd be massive. They do not, though. Instead, it's going to be the steal, and it was good knowing you, LCS, as bomb used by Clear is going to remake, but do they have the tools to still win this fight?
They're going to try, but Pulse Bomb come out, they're not going to be able to find Shinigami. Scary One healing them all back up as you see 9Z come right back in. Oh, Sauna barely keeps himself alive there right now as 9Z losing Wed early on. Deadeye out here from Hydron, but it's going to be wasted. However, I guess you get the trade, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't, like, it gets a big resource out of Shinigami as Clear eventually is going to reset. The problem is they use double DPS to try to win that fight. It fails, and now Connie has that second life online with the bomb ready to go. It's gonna be a right fight, got a rough fight coming up for them. LCS needs to try to get the sound barrier online in time.
You need to play slow here, but this is playing a lot like the first point right now for 9Z, where it was a really good kind of play there from Heist. However, one person overextended and got picked out. However, Heist is not going to overextend this time around. They cannot afford to really lose anyone, as Light going straight after Shinigami as Scary One has dropped them, but the bomb is piped here. Not going to be able to find anyone that gets caught on the wall.
Yeah, and reasonable trade, I think, for both sides, quite honestly, right now. Clear needs to be kept up, but the problem is the touch has to come through, and Shinigami still has plenty of resources. A Nano is still available, and it's going to be thrown over onto Connie instead, who's going to try to roll through. Would love to find Hydron, who is getting singled out right now. Sound Barrier going to come through to try and save the day. The Pulse Bomb also misses out. It's been a lot of resources used right here, but the Katsuna Rush from Wed is going to try to be game-changing as they're forcing everybody off the point. They will get the momentary flip over. This fight, though, is going to come to a swift end with Hot Babe and Connie out as Shinigami will disconnect.
The unfortunate thing right there for Shinigami. I mean, and really for Heist, I mean, that was looking so well for them. They're going to lose all the ult charge they just had, but it looks like they're back in, so this pause will run down. But I think Heist, again, is showing us a lot of resilience here, 99-0, which means all they really need to do is win one fight. But when you look at what was invested there by 9Z, both those support ultimates, you're not necessarily in the worst spot here, but you can look at Hot Babe and Scary One. They're decently far away. They're a fight away, a losing fight away and a winning fight away from having both those ultimates online. So you could take a fight right now if you're Heist, try to get some of those other ultimates out, like the bomb from Clear. Because, I mean, if all that Heist does in this next fight is just focus solely on Clear and get rid of that mech, you know you get out one big ultimate. However, like I said, with Shinigami gone, there goes that artillery, and there goes that ultimate as well. They're going to have to go back to the spawn as a Scary One, not that far away already right now, but they're back in, we're back in.
Yep, ready to go once more here, and yeah, they get a couple of fights going into this one. Shinigami has to reset, but I don't think Shinigami was up that far on the ult anyway. It is what it is ultimately, but we're here. You're going to have a Pulse Bomb, a Deadeye ready to go, a lot of really good tools, but the longer this fight takes, the more that it potentially leads into single fight territory, honestly.
And right now, if Shinigami and I think Scary One knew that Clear was away from their entire team, they would have gone in a little bit quicker. They're not going to be able to do it now, but they're leaving it to Sana to try to be a little bit of a distraction. But now Shinigami is above point here with Scary One, but not going to be taken out just yet. Deadeye out from Hydron here early on as they are looking for anyone But Clear finds Hot Babe, so this ultimate already bought you, I think, that time you're looking for. But the bomb, that's what I was talking about, Hunter. You need that up, but you lose Scary One.
Oh, that's worst case. Now there's no catnap, and now everyone else has to run because Sauna is getting chased big time because they know Sauna's going to have to be the toucher. At least the main touch, as Scary One's trying to get that in time. Literally, Sauna has been chased across like the map so far, but Clear needs to get back.
Yeah, Clear needs to get back badly. Connie has this bomb online, so the moment they get demeched here, if they get demeched, they will use it. You have Scary One back as well with the catnap, but this has to be a moment here where once that catnap comes out, you have to get rid of it, but you find Hot Babe!
It's massive. It could not be bigger. The bomb's trying to be pulled away, but they do not find success with it this time. It's another one here for 9Z. Hydra and Clear Light all finishing that one off. It's map point on line here to get things going, and they're keeping this thing rocking and rolling.
And again, I think that was going to be the unfortunate disconnect there for Shinigami. I think did affect them, but they had their opportunities. And especially when you saw the entirety of 9Z chase someone across the map, you should have been able to capitalize on that one a little bit, but 9Z did enough there to force to hold them down. But look at what Heist has ready to go. 4 ultimates, make that 3 ultimates as that pulse bomb finds nothing. The Nano invested on the Connie, and Hydron taken out early. There's the catnap.
Yeah, and as LCS Wet Soup are currently struggling to stay alive, LCS takes a momentary now. Got Sound Barrier online for a moment, but opts not to use it, and honestly, that's going to be maybe the right call. But you see Clear and Wed are still in here, hanging around, trying to stay alive. Bomb's going to come out. Clear's in the corner, is somehow going to remech, but the rest of their team not going to be so lucky.
Yeah, that almost feels like a fight right there and a bomb from Clear that you might just want to hold on to. That was a losing fight. You weren't necessarily playing point anyway. Now you just got rid of a big tool there for 9Z. But again, this has kind of been how this map has been going. Heist has always been able to get the first cap, and they've been able to do a pretty good job with it. And then 9Z finds a huge pick or two to get themselves back into it. 3 ultimates about to be online, almost 4 here for Heist. You only have 3 online for a 9Z as well. But watch out for Light. Hydron, though, with the Deadeye out early on, just gonna buy space and maybe get a point flip off of it.
And gets Hot Babe, perfect. Yeah, unfortunately, I think Connie ran out of that amp or that matrix to be able to keep them alive, so it's unfortunate. But Fiber Set comes through, but it looks like they're going to get out without losing anybody else, so they should have a relatively quick reset coming up here.
Yeah, but I mean, you have 3, about to be 4 ultimates online for Heist. I think losing that fight there, not necessarily the worst case scenario. Connie has a bomb, Shinigami has artillery, so you could buy some space early on here using that. However, again, I think Scary One and these catnaps, unless you're finding someone throwing them off the map, I honestly just think, Hunter, you just need to hold on to them. You cannot afford to drop Shinigami. LCS, though, they get hit with a huge anti and get taken out.
Yeah, and now this one should be all but secure right now. Connie needs to be able to figure a way to get everybody else out of here and stop the delay from coming through, because now Sona has invested in this fight further. Clear, everyone is not willing to invest here. Light, not thinking the same, though. We'll be able to get a reasonable trade, but I think this fight is too far gone. You get this thing up to that 78% marker. But to be fair, I mean, compared to using the pulse bombs right there, you don't hate that. They stalled out really long.
Yeah, they did, but look at the percentage already. Heist with that first cap got up pretty high. This is Final Fight territory already. However, I will say this. I do feel bad for Hot Babe. Hot Babe is getting caught out by every ultimate. I think they've been caught out by the last 3 pulse bombs from Light as well here. But again, you have 3 ultimates right now. If you're Heist, this is honestly the best point you've had so far as the Consumer Rush out here from Wed as a back cap. Is that already there a little bit?
Yeah, Light needs to be able to stay alive, though. They're going to try to get rid of Clear right now, who's barely hanging alive in there right now. Needs to maintain this mech. The momentary flip comes over right now. Yeah, and Sonic doesn't remech. Connie's already getting obliterated right now. And the Sound Barrier comes out. Hydron there with a Deadeye as well. Shinigami has plenty of health to work with right now. Gets one, has a Nano still available, needs some care, and eventually is going to get it, but falling over means this fight can still go very much either way. Light LCS hanging about momentarily. They're on the run for Hot Babe, though. Eventually he's going to get taken care of, and Connie doesn't have that care sitting by any longer. Shinigami is going to run back to the point with delay. Should have tried to get back in time, but the supports have been more than cleared out. Connie is on the run, trying to find anybody to search down, but it's Hydron who's making the way back here, hoping to find the appropriate hack, but LCS gone. Connie hacked away, close to going down. Has to stay on this point for as long as possible. Dex, it is neck and neck. Clear needs to stay up, but Wit finds the big pick.
That wick is burning fast. They get off and Clear Hot Babe. Clear finds one on the Hot Babe. Clear's going to have to be forced to use that bomb here. Connie gets demeched. Not going to have the bomb in time. They are going to be taken out. Light with another pulse bomb kill onto them. And now, I don't think you have enough right here. Scary One, gonna have to play God right now to make sure this overtime wick case stays alive. They're not going to be able to do that. 9Z, 1 map win away from EWC.
Oh my god. It's the scrappiest performance we could possibly see right there, ultimately. Like, it's utter insanity to go through that whole series right there, where it felt like every single point, honestly, could have gone Heist's way. You have to genuinely believe that. It's a one-fight difference for pretty much all of them. It comes down as intense as can be, but again, we talk about how scrappy these teams are. It was shown there in spades, as it's now match point for 9Z Globant right now in Heist. Backs firmly against the wall. They have to figure out something, and they have to figure it out now.
They're going to bring us to Rialto here, and you have to remember, I believe the D.Va, the Mauga, the Zarya have all been banned out here by Heist. I think they've really expelled their best kind of bans. I think forcing clear off of their comfort tanks has been a big thing. And Widowmaker, again, don't hate the ban. Do not hate this ban at all. It is a very map-dependent one, especially with Hydron and Bert on this team. We haven't seen Bert this entire series, but we know they are a scary, scary hit scan. Get rid of the Widow here, but that still leaves open stuff like the Cass, like the Emre that we haven't seen yet, the Soj, a lot of other heroes here. But they're banking on a Widowmaker ban here. 9Z now, it's time for them to make their potential final ban of the series.
We'll see what route they opt to take right now. Again, a lot of the critical bans have been taken care of. The Cat Bastion is currently untouchable. I believe they've gone off for, have they gone after the Ana already as well, if I'm not mistaken? Or have they not taken that?
I don't think they have. I don't think the Ana's been banned out just yet.
Interesting. Ana would be...
I'll be proven wrong here in a moment, most likely, but I don't think it's been banned out just yet.
If it hasn't, then I think that's a very legitimate choice to pull the trigger now. You're going over to an escort map where I think Ana can find a lot of value. We found it have a ton of value back on Numbani because of how those high grounds work. So I think it's another map that can contribute towards it very well. And if you can ban it here, you 100% go for it. But we'll see what ends up going down. We'll see if the lineups change at all. They have not changed yet, but I don't know if they're going to change here either. Honestly, I would bet that they wouldn't.
I don't think they would either, but Hunter, I want you to do one thing here. Even with the unfortunate disconnection there from Shinigami, I want you to go look at the stats here from that last map.
I can do that.
They were incredibly even. The only person that you could say potentially had a bad round there was Hot Babe, and it was honestly just because Light kept targeting them on every pulse bomb, and I kept finding every stick as well. That was the only reason I think Hot Babe, or that was the only reason Hot Babe had such not necessarily a bad performance, but they struggled there. And it was a thing that really led 9Z to even a lot of situations where they would lose fights to come back in very quickly, knowing that they got rid of that Ana, who was vitally important to Heist. However, 9Z, they didn't play that Cat Bash in that last map. They stuck with that Lucio Kiri, and I think that Kiri really did find a lot more value than that Cat Bastion, because I mentioned there, it seems like whenever you would see Shinigami dropped there by Scary One, 9Z turned all their attention to that Bastion to make sure they got rid of it. And most of the time, it ended up working out for them here. What does Heist do going into map number 5 here? Time will tell. And you could tell, we're still waiting here for a little bit. I think we're seeing these teams really consider maybe some hard choices here. Do we see a sub come in for either one? A minute left as we're waiting for the lines to be finalized.
Yeah, we'll see if they change in the slightest right here. So I don't know. I still don't think they do, but we see this is.
I don't know if I have Mizuki in my thing.
I have Mizuki in my thing, as a matter of fact, but it's
okay. No, I have Mizuki.
Honestly, I can't be mad about it because I think there's a legitimate thing where I think they feel confident they can win this with their devices, but more importantly, if it doesn't go their way, they still have the first choice on that ban moving forward if we have to go back to map 6. And remember, if we go to map 6, the entire pool resets. You can't play any of the maps you've already played, but at the same time, you can play whatever map you feel goes into your advantage the very best. And having that selection, my God, is that some power to have. But if you're 9Z Globant decks, you don't want to have to utilize that power. You want to end this thing right here, right now.
Yeah, and one thing, I was looking at the bans there. I kept on saying that Heist banned out the D.Va. They haven't.
Wow.
They haven't banned out D.Va. I think this would have been the map to ban out the D.Va. yeah, that leaves still Malga and Zarya there, but I think this first point is so like heavy favored when you play dive and poke that you could play around it. But I think it also just goes into Heist play style here. They don't want to get Connie off this D.Va. They really, I think, believe Connie on this D.Va might be the best way for them to win at the moment. Scary One though, and Shinigami, not a surprise. And you can see Hot Babe really trying to figure out what they're going to play here. Is it going to be the Ana? I don't think it should be. I really don't. And yeah, I think they're with me as well. I think the Kiri is just too strong right now. And even with nerfs and even with everything, it's showing you why Kiri is still very much hard set meta right now.
Yeah, I still don't think it's really changing anytime soon, even with the Cat Bash being as good as it is. That Kiri can be so difficult to deal with, but we're here. Could be the last map of this series, but if, hey, Heist has anything to say about it, this one's going to go on for quite a while longer. As they're going to get things started on the attack right now. Hydron, once again, flexing over to that Cassidy instead, that I think has found, honestly, such a massive amount of success the entire series we've seen at present.
It really has, but I think one thing I'm actually liking with Scary One and Shinigami this time around is that Cat Bastion's more being a little bit of a distraction. It's getting clear to fly up after them, but you haven't seen necessarily the counterattack there from Heist just yet, as you see Clear trying to get back up to that high ground where the entirety of their team is.
Yeah, definitively so. As we see right now, Claire is going to kind of focus on maybe holding that corner for as long as humanly possible right now. Don't let this thing open up into a territory where that Bastion is going to find a ton of value if everyone is forced further back, gives more room for Shinigami to work. But as things are right now, Hydron, no one sees Shinigami right now, actually. They are just now noticing as the rotations have been kind of awkward thus far, but for Hot Babe, who is caught out by Clear somehow,
they're trying to flip the map, and it didn't work out. You lose Hot Babe early on, but you are able to find Hydron, which I think you'll gladly take that trade. And then you get the mech! You get the mech right now! And Clear trying to keep themselves alive here, but this is a moment where if you're Heist, kill them as fast as you can. LCS and WED, though!
What? And now you see on the run right there, they're going to try to keep Clear up right now. They're getting in there, but Clear will not remech. Connie gets a big pick as well. Light has a pulse bomb, but right now needs to stay away, gets to make a health pack, will live a while longer, but they got to regroup for this fight because ultimates are going to be coming in mass here the longer this goes on.
Yeah, and you have to come back in really quickly right now if you are 9Z. This is still very much an easy kind of fight here for Heist. Get off the car for a brief moment, but you look at Scary One. The Catnap online, and with how close the water is, you can just drag anyone into that water. They're going to be dropping, actually, already, them and Shinigami are in the backline for a brief moment as you're going to see a lot of play under this bridge.
Yeah. Hot Babe is being forced back further and further. Going to be kept up eventually due to that cat right now. But it's Connie who's struggling to stay alive. Eventually going to get the necessary care to hang in. Yeah, looking for it. And there is the catnap comes through. The cleanse is available, but it's not going to stop right now as WED is going to be dragged. And Connie going to be able to re-mech here as the stick comes through. It's not going to matter, though. It's just Clear and Light hanging down on the point. But it should just be temporary as it's just the baby D.Va left to hang around. That'll be cleared out. And all things considered, I'd say it's a pretty successful push there for Heist.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you got everything you wanted there. I think you played that kind of fight perfectly. You forced out a lot of disposition there from 9Z. You forced the map flip, and you got overextensions from Clear. Yeah, you lost Hot Babe, but I think getting that mech cleared out or getting cleared out of the mech there early on in that first engagement was so key to them winning that point there. However, 9Z, they're going to play this very aggressively. They want to try to hold for this choke, and the Kitsune Rush already out from WED. LCS not that far away from a beat.
Yeah, definitively so right now. And this Kitsune Rush, fortunately, doesn't end up doing a whole lot here. Again, you cause separation. The point stops for a bit, but you do end up getting Hot Babe at the very tail end of things, so that's massive. You have to definitively wait at that point, unless you manage to get a really big pick of your Shinigami or Sauna. But as things stand right now, it's going to be hard to push up without the Kiri there.
It really is, and that's going to be the biggest problem at the moment. But you do see Shinigami and Scary One trying to find a way into the backside of it. They are, but they drop him there. WED, though, going to be taken out. They had the Suzu. I don't think they had the TP to get them out of that one.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Webb's going to continue to come through right now. Rialto working out really well for Heist thus far as Light, while they get a really critical blow, Hydron on the run. He's not going to be able to escape the clutches right here. Clear's going to bomb. Doesn't get anybody with it, but the question is it going to buy enough time for the rest of 9Z to regroup?
Yeah, it is. It's going to buy enough time. They got rid of Shinigami as well, so Scary One's going to have to eventually disengage from this fight, maybe to go back and get them, but they're going to stay in it for the long haul at the moment. But you got rid of the bomb there from Clear. Connie not that far away from them. They have Kitsune Rush online. Well, Wed doesn't have anything. This is a good opportunity to get that out right now if you're Heist, because that will force out the beat from the other side.
Yeah, big sound barrier as well. Shinigami's in a rough scenario. All that DM has to be used. And to be fair, it might just be enough. LCS is forced back into the room, is on the run. Connie is trying to chase down big time right now, but you see the eventual DMAC come through from Clear, who should have eventually fallen over. It's a really good stall, but everyone's going to die over on the point here, and it's massive for them. But now, with everyone getting the fast respawns together, I think a retouch could potentially be in the books.
It is. It's going to be in the books here, but you have no ultimates. While the other side has 3. Catnap, while it missed it hit last time, it could definitely hit here again. Shinigami not going to have the artillery online, and I'm surprised Scary One's not investing that Catnap right now. Actually, they are setting up for it. They are looking for it. This might be a lost fight for them, but they might try to find a late pick or a back cap potentially, because I don't think, never mind, I was going to say, I don't think anyone on 9Z knows where Scary One is.
They don't. Scary One's still hanging around and just kind of just waiting to see if they can see enough people. But they're going to go back momentarily. No one's there at the moment, but they keep looking back. They know. LCS keeps looking every quarter second, I swear. Oh, there it is.
I think Clear just saw him there, so they know that what they were trying to do. But still, 3 ultimates online. Dead-Eye though out from Hydron early. What the heck just happened?
I could not begin to tell you. All I know is that it's a 9Z fight win, that there's a minute left on the clock, and Connie is going to get out with this mech intact, but I don't know what happened to Scary One there.
What happened to Scary One? Did they just try to go for a grab and saw the Deadeye and just said, I'm not getting out of this one, and just said, okay, I'm going to take myself out instead? It's a huge play, and now, Hunter, this is Final Fight territory. Everyone from Heist is going to have to quickly rush back to this cart right now, and they don't have that ultimate advantage they had before. It's in favor of 9Z.
And that is insanity right there. And now it's brilliant territory. 1 fight territory left. Hydron, though, is going to fall. That was the worst case scenario to get things started. And they're going to invest in the 4v5, thinking it's still winnable. But Wed 2 is running out of Claire. And the bomb gets taken off the side. And this one, I mean, should be done and dusted. Light would have to do something incredible. Would have to unlock that inner EQO. But unfortunately, just don't think it's happening here.
And again, I talked about the ultimate advantage there for 9Z. It fell apart very quickly. Clear's bomb was thrown into the river. Wed's Kitsune Rush didn't find any value, and I think Scary One's Catnap did exactly what you wanted to do. Got rid of a high-value target, and because that bomb was thrown into the river, I don't think Clear was even given that opportunity to get back into the mech. Second point capture, Hunter. We see second point be the kryptonite for a lot of teams. I think anything right now for Heist is bonus, especially if they can complete the map.
Yeah, right now, sound barrier ready to go, but you see right now it's being separated. Clear not going to get the sound barrier somehow, and now all they can do is kind of just push on this as a 4v5 and try to get something, as Connie is going to be able to remech, and now everyone from 9Z needs to clear the deck.
The Light was still on card. They will be taken out there by Hot Bay, but Hydron now again just being bullied, as there's the artillery coming out from Shinigami and Hydron. Target number 1, 2, and 3, and they'll find Wed as well. Clear was on the Malga for a brief moment before swapping right back over to that Diva, but Scary One, the only one with an ultimate, uses it right now, and they're going to drag Clear back into the fray.
Yeah, but Scary One goes down. The question is that going to be worth it right now? And I think the answer could be a really definitive yes right now, because no one is able to run into the face. Hydron going to have the Deadeye, though. Needs to be sped forward. A big boop comes through right now, but no one is going to get caught out ultimately. Shinigami loses essentially no health. There's no ultimates available. Clear is on the way back right now, but Connie is going to fall out of the mech. Needs to be kept up. They won't be, though. And with 10 seconds left, Shinigami dropped down. All the heals being mitigated away. They're going to be taken out. Scary One would love to get back, but that's going to be denied by Clear. As you see the finish line before you, if you're 9Z for Heist, it's still a really good push. Unfortunately, it will come up short.
And again, Connie doing so much. Sana as well. I think they're doing a lot. And that's not discrediting anyone else. Scary One somehow has 13 elims with only 2,600 damage, which is almost unheard of. But I think if you're 9Z, you're not happy about that round. You're not. We've seen Heist be able to drag out these fights sometimes this series, and I think this is a map that Heist picked for a reason. And hey, their backs were against the wall. This was their last map pick this entire series, this entire season for them. No matter what, they had to bring us to a map that they felt comfortable on. And you have to remember the bands here. wait, I think I have the wrong bands up right now. The Widow and the Mizuki.
It's a unique set, I'll tell you that much, especially the Mizuki. But to be fair, I don't blame people. Mizuki doesn't really come out in this region. It really pretty much never has.
Doesn't come out at all.
Like, I'm trying to remember a time where anyone in South America played Mizuki specifically in a match like this. I can't remember.
I saw the Fallen in North America play it, and man, did it not work.
No, but last night during the Champions Clash, I forget who ran it, but it actually worked out extremely well. Committed to a full hold. But we'll see what happens here right now. No Mizuki, not a shock whatsoever. But for 9Z, it's them trying to finish the story.
And honestly, if you're 9Z, I mean, my bad, if you're Heist, just like I said, you want to drag out these fights as long as you can. You want to drag out these point caps as long as you can. Heist actually got a good first point. Remember, Hunter, they really did. It was that second point that kind of got them there. Almost that kryptonite, like I was talking about for a lot of teams here. Heist, though, I think a lot of this entire round lives and dies by how well Shinigami is, or how well Scary One is able to keep Shinigami alive in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, genuinely so. You want to try to catch somebody out right now, but Hot Babe is down immediately, and now everyone's still full health right now. You're trying to catch Light Out, who's able to recall in the nick of time as well. And with Shinigami down, Dex had to give up this first corner, and Connie needs to get out with this mech intact right now. Is kind of hit or miss right now. It looks like they're trying, they'll get out, but not with much of their team behind them.
Yeah, and look at how much space you're seeing 9Z take right now. They're going to have to give it up here because there's going to be no way in hell that Heist is going to give up this first point for free. But 9Z is going to try their best here to make sure that it happens. But Scary One is able to carry Shinigami in, and Connie now there for the contest.
Yeah, and you see this backline push coming through as they are going to contest in the nick of time, mind you. Now you have to stay dedicated to this point if you're Connie. You get up for a single moment in time. This one could be given up. A Hydron is going to be DM'd long enough to stay alive to be able to find that pick right now. But it's still a race going back and forth. The D-Mech over on the Sauna, or I should say on the Connie, is going to clear this one out. It's going to be a quick one. 5 minutes on the clock. 9Z going to keep pushing forward.
9Z, 5 minutes on the clock, like you said. However, we have seen some teams get stonewalled here. However, you're not going to see that early engagement here from Heist to be able to try to slow them down on the bridge. They're going to be playing for the next choke after that, which is the catwalk over here. It's clear. Getting in that, just playing on the roof right now, just trying to, I think, always keep an eye on where Scary One and Shinigami are. It's clear now. Might be a little bit too far up, but I think Connie's going to try to dive in on the back line.
I'll say, why not? You go for that right there. But the progress is still being made, regardless of what's happening right now. Is Shinigami in the sky, almost took out Hydron. Will get care just in time, but it's Consumer Rush being used by both sides right now. The bomb's going to come through, unfortunately. I think that really was just a quick remech tech, but Sauna being taken out by Hydron is critical as can be. You lose out on Sauna again.
Here's the thing, though. Sauna actually stuck Hydron with a pulse bomb. It was a huge play by Web to keep them alive to find that pick. And now you're going to be able to see 9Z play here with a little bit more aggression right now. They don't have the ultimates that Heist has, and I'm looking for Scary One here. This Catnap needs to be huge here, but once they drop Shinigami, it's going to be difficult for them. As Web taken out, I don't think you need to invest anything right now, actually.
No, absolutely not. And you see right now, 9Z realize without Wed, they don't want to have to take this fight right now, but they also need to make sure Clear stays in the mech, or else this is going to be a lot longer of a reset. Clear is in such a rough area, doesn't have Fly either, and now, yeah, reset's going to come through. Everyone in that room might as well go and be sent back already, but they see Light back there, who is, gonna stop that car from regressing, so they don't, at least they shouldn't get out of here alive.
They're doing a good job of at least prolonging their life, and actually, they might be able to get out alive. Yeah, they're able to get out alive. Give Light a lot of credit. Hydron with the Deadeye very early. I think it's just to buy their team some space and make sure there wasn't that early contestation there from Heist. Granted, that's one of those ultimates gone while you still have 3, almost 4 sitting up on the other side. Still waiting for that Catnap to come out here from Scary One, because this is still a point where you can find it. Shinigami, though, uses the artillery, but they might fall here.
Yeah, getting super low. Eventually going to be able to stay alive. Sound barrier used. They think they want to end this second point right here and now, and they're clearing space, but no one is anywhere close to going down. Hobbit eventually going to fall on over, and you had the Catnap available, but you need to find a good target. There isn't one available. Shinigami takes brief damage coming through as Shinigami falls on over. Clear, holding onto that bomb. Connie right remech, but Connie needs to hang on to this point big time. They're the only one there to really contribute the touches with half a meter left. It's going to get handed over, and there's 4 minutes left between 9Z and potential Destiny.
9Z, like 4 minutes left and a trip to Paris, but still, Heist has the opportunity right here to shut them down and take some momentum back in this series. Scary one though, this Catnap now, all you can really do is use it to drag someone back in towards you, and you do see Shinigami get off the Bastion. This Catnap might just be used here, and then they have to make this one. They have to make it now, Hunter. The Consumer's coming out from Wed. I think 9Z can feel it.
They can feel it somewhere deep down. Sauna has been taken care of, but Dex, there's still time for that quick regroup, but it's got to happen here really quickly. They have the Kitsune Rush ready to go, but it is their only tool as Shinigami goes over, matches that Cassie a little bit back. Dex, it needs to find the value right here, right now, as Hydron has a Deadeye sitting by. You see Sauna back over on the Symmetra. They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink into this fight. They need to find some picks, but right now, they can kind of just poke away.
Hydron has Deadeye. It's going to be really difficult for them to use it. They're going to use it right now, try to buy some space. Actually, they're just fucking straight in on Connie. Consider what's now out from Hot Babe as Hydron gets the shot and the D-Mech.
Oh my god, and Connie is gone right now. Hydron is still hanging around really low right now. That bomb's ready to go. Clear is looking for that Poke Bomb to finish things off. It goes, it gets right too! And Hydron is taken care of, but they have to go and get the touches. But 9Z, they finish the story. They'll move on to France. They'll be the winners of Season 8 for South American Faceit.
Only dropping one map all season long, and it was in this series right here. But 9Z Globant, the Argentinian organization, moving on to EWC to, I believe, join a lot of their other teams here in this, Hunter. Like I said, into it, both these teams, any other season, you could say they were super teams of this region. 9Z, though, I think they proved it here tonight. This might be the best team we have ever seen in the South American region. And I have a lot of faith in this team going on to EWC, but it is a long way away. But still, incredible performances coming out for them. A great season for Heist. You have to give them a lot of credit as well. Maybe the only team that was truly able to test 9Z Globant throughout this entire season. But it comes up short here tonight. 9Z, though, Hunter, I just think was a different beast in this region this season.
Just an entirely different beast. This has been a core that has been, honestly, been at the top of Faceit for as long as we can honestly remember. And it's been crazy watching their journey right here, but this was the season that I know for all these players in this region was the most important one to them. That chance for them to basically travel across the world, play against the very best teams in the world as well. And 9Z Globant, they're going to have that opportunity. And while it might be a lot the same old for Hydron, the rest of these players, I imagine looking forward to the experience of a lifetime out there. So, I mean, saying it now, big congratulations to 9Z Globant and to everyone on Heist. You put up one hell of a fight, but this time around, 9Z, they wanted it. They wanted it badly.
Really badly. And you have to remember, if for the core of 9Z and especially the coach Redder, this is now their third straight championship. This is the one that means the most to them, though. And you have to imagine they are so happy and excited and just proud of this team being able to qualify for EWC. And again, this was a really back and forth series. I think Heist had their opportunities, but 9Z found ways to be able to shut them down through it. And I think a lot of them in the last two maps, I think you saw a consistent pattern. 9Z was just getting rid of Hot Babe. In a lot of the early situations, it opened up a lot of space for them to get rid of one of those supports, especially when you're playing the Cat Bastion. I think 9Z, they found what they needed to do. They found the recipe, and they continue doing it time after time again here. But still, Hot Babe had a great series here, led their team in healing throughout the majority of it. I think Scary One as well, playing that Cat Bastion. It was really good throughout this series. Definitely, though, started to fall off towards the end. You started to see him going away from it. I think, though, that last Catnap, you could definitely tell they were throwing it out there because they were going to make that swap. But it's almost one of those situations where you have to kind of ask, was it really worth it there? Would you rather have just gone in the spawn, give up the ultimate? You will never know. Time will tell. It was one of those what-if things. But if you're 9Z, I mean, outside of a thing of Lob Hydron's Deadeyes here, which were just space buyers, they didn't really find a lot of value either, but they did exactly what they need to do in 9Z, man. Again, second straight season that this core has gone undefeated, so close to having the perfect map record as well.
Yeah, but I can't imagine they're complaining too much about it right now. They have to be feeling amazing being able to pull this one back, especially that core who, again, missed out on this opportunity last season against a lot of the core they faced out today as well. So it's a big opportunity for them. We're obviously excited to see what they can do when they get to that global stage. And we're just excited to see how things go down. But now, with the fact that it's the grand finals and it's done, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Season 8. All of the other grand finals are going to be happening tomorrow, though, across North America, EMEA, Oceania as well. So make sure to go watch those, of course. But we'll be back in time for everything. I don't remember the date of when, everything is going to actually start for all the qualifiers. I don't think we have that locked in quite yet, or whether we'll even have a qualifier specifically for South America. A lot of it's up in the air. We'll have to see, but as you guys already know, we'll be here for it.
Yeah, and before we sign off here, again, with every season here in South America, we really encourage you guys to continue coming to back and watching. I'm seeing the viewers here. This is more than I think we've ever gotten for any of our normal streams and any of our grand finals. You saw maybe the two best teams that we've ever seen here in South America, but there are so many talented players outside of the 10 you saw here tonight and the other 4 that did not get to play that are in this region. Please come back and watch more South American Faceit next season, because they have some superstars down here that have yet to be found. And again, before we go, just want to give a quick shout out to Grupo Senju, William Mundy, Pella, and a lot of people over there in the South American region who really have helped us a lot throughout the season, and in a lot of the other seasons, making sure we're able to cover all these incredible teams and all these incredible players.
Yeah, incredibly so. It has been such a big help. Honestly, the people that really helped us get into this into the first place. So always have to shout them out. And hey, they have a little tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks' time, the Gold Cup. So if you're a team that wants to put together a team for that, signups are open. You can find them on their Twitter. So you want to go do that. Honestly, I highly encourage it. That's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. I imagine we're going to be 2 of the people casting that event as well. So it's definitely going to be a really fun time. But once more, I want to thank all of you for coming out for another fantastic season of South American Faceit. There is a lot to come within the year just for South America, for Latin American esports in general. The World Cup right around the corner. We have the fact that we're coming back for another season here in a few weeks' time. There is a lot of extremely exciting things. The Copa America also coming up as well. It is going to be a phenomenal rest this year. This is just the beginning, because in my blood, deep down in those bones, that resurgence for South American, for Latin American esports, I know it's there, and I know it will continue to rise. So for all of you here today, thank you so very much. Enjoy the rest of your time. We'll be back for some more Faceit League and South American action. Everybody, take care.